Good morning and happy Monday. It's day 60 of Walk with Winston, and I'm coming to you again from Tampa today. I've shared this before. I just love the break of dawn, and the sunrise is just coming up over here over the horizon this way, and it's just a magical time of day. The air is fresher, the birds are sweeter, and just the possibilities of a new day. It just so invigorates me, and I hope if you are a night owl, that someday you will take the intention of greeting the dawn. I think it will change your outlook on life to occasionally do that, to greet the break of dawn. I remember when I go to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, one of the things I'd love to do is to be sitting on the shore just as the sun is peeking up over the horizon. It's magical. Anyway, that's a little sidebar. Sorry about that. But I hope you had a great weekend. And I hope that you took some time to really reflect and pause and be sensitive, even more sensitive to those nudges, those God-sized nudges inside our heart and soul that may be prompting you to take a certain action or to try something new. This weekend I shared a couple stories, one about my dad and one about my own life, in terms of how stepping into the unknown can really create the adventure of your dreams. Both of those are a little bit longer videos, in the 15 to 20 minute range. And if you're looking for some inspiration from real life situations, I recommend you go back and take a look at Walk with Winston 58 and 59 for some real life inspiration about taking those nudges and taking those steps. Well, this morning, during my devotional time, I used the YouVersion Bible app, and that app has some incredible reading plans. And today, the reading plan I was following kind of stopped me mid sentence with a question that really stopped me in my tracks, and something I'd never considered before. So Henry Ford, I'm going to paraphrase him. He said something to the effect of, above all else, it's the preparation that leads to success. You know, how many people, you hear so many cliches about overnight success, and we all know that that's a fallacy, particularly in the entertainment industry. Most of the people who are, quote, overnight successes have been grinding it out, practicing and singing in front of family and friends, 5 people or 20 people in these little dingy bars forever. And they have been preparing themselves for a season that when that break comes, they step right through it. So the question in this Bible study this morning was, so when you get a God-sized dream implanted in your soul, will you be prepared to step through that window or step through that door? Wow, did that bring me up short when I saw that question. And the writer goes on to say, we have these moments in our life, and that's really what I was trying to share about my dad's life and about my life so far. There are these moments, and I think if we're honest with ourselves, we can see several, if not dozens, of these times in our life where we have this window of opportunity opens. Something we've been praying for, something we've been dreaming about. There's a moment in time when that opportunity is there. And I think as we look back on our lives, probably some of the biggest regrets that we could have is the time that we've been dreaming for those. The door or window opens and we don't step through that window. And so the writer was really challenging me this morning in this devotional to look at my heart, to say, okay, so am I preparing myself for when those windows open? So A, I'll recognize it, and B, I can take advantage of that. Because have you noticed when those promptings happen, they don't stick around forever. They don't chase you down over and over again. Sometimes they do. But it's very rare in my experience that a prompting stays with you, or a calling, or this nudging stays with you. Most of the time we suppress it. We knock it down. We reject it. We turn away that gift. And so the writer was really poking at me this morning saying, okay, you're asking for a door to open. You're asking for a window to open. Are you prepared to step through it when it does? Because it will. If it's God's intent for my life, He opens doors that no man can shut. That's a promise in the Bible. But what are we doing to prepare our heart and soul, our mind, our spirit for receiving those prompts and those gifts? That's been my encouragement over the last week, has been to, attune our soul to these prompts. But then there are steps of preparation that we're doing, and I honestly believe that every experience in our life, good and bad, what we would label good or bad, is preparing us to be of service to others. So I believe those are preparations, but are we stepping into those opportunities when God presents those to us, particularly as He's implanted a God-sized dream in our soul? Boy, it really rumbled inside of me this morning when I saw that question. And then the second thing that happened this morning, I'm a proponent of journaling, as I've shared before. And so in my electronic journal, as I begin to enter today's commentary, it brings up the same day multiple years ago. Just it helps me kind of see the progression in my thought process over that time. And 1 year ago today, the journal entry was kind of a recap of my physical state. Over the years, I had gone through my Fitbit data and looked at different points in time from March 2015 to present day, last October. And I was noting kinds of changes in my weight and what was going on at that time. But what really stood out to me was the last sentence that I put in that journal entry last year, this day. And it talked about how my heart's desire was to really help people with change and transformation as I transformed. Now, I don't remember writing that at all. I don't recall that being my heart's desire a year ago. But here we are, a year later, and 60 videos later, and that's exactly what we're doing on these Walk with Winstons. I'm sharing the transformation, particularly of my mindset and my heart and spirit, and the physical transformation that's going to naturally result as I do that inner work. So, God implanted a God-sized dream in my heart. And am I doing the steps? Am I taking the daily habitual action to prepare myself for when that window opens? So my encouragement today to all of you is think about your own life. Look at those times that windows have opened and closed, and take that as a encouragement. So when you've stepped into that window, see what happened, and think about the times that those windows opened and you weren't prepared and you didn't step through it. Will that encourage you to be more sensitive and take more action the next time that happens? Boy, a lot to think about this morning. With that, you guys have a great Monday. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.